Welcome, fam, to the week three recap of this 2025 season of the FFFL. And I have the pleasure of bringing you the newly named, or at least adjusted name of the Sobro
Yeah.
Cases Aces with,
You said it was too long, and I
Yeah.
thought it sounded better anyway. So
You forced her into it.
I,
I was trying to be in Indianapolis, but she wants to be special. So
hey, it just sounded very much like the Tokyo, Japan, Nathan's hot dogs, type
so
of name for
good.
the baseball team. So, but we
yeah.
have Casey, the owner of the team, will say, and his general
Yeah.
manager, Samantha, on with us. Welcome.
Yeah, she's the one that has all the knowledge. So
And welcome, Samantha, 'cause I think this is your first time.
It is. Yeah. Last
So
time Case did it was just by himself because I wasn't in the management role at that time.
you were in a management role somewhere else and we're pretty
I
busy.
exactly.
So, um,
I'm getting paid to be a manager. This position I'm not getting paid for.
correct. So,
even at
you're
the
paid in other
end,
ways,
so
I'm sure, so that's how that goes. But I see you're repping IU today too, so Bob
Oh
will like
yeah.
that. You got a few people that'll like that because we started watching that U of I Indiana game, and it was kind of getting too late or it was weird. But yeah,
yeah.
IU was up on them early, if I recall. Like it was just
Oh,
Yeah.
the whole
like Illinois
game. Yeah.
looked bad. They just like to
Oh
be
my
the
Yeah,
number
God.
nobody
nine
thinks he's
team. I was like,
good,
that
but
doesn't look like it.
No, it honestly because I was the opposite. I got off work and when I was at the bar having dinner, I was watching the game and I text Casey. I was like, "This is just hard to watch. Like this is brutal. Illinois cannot do anything to stop IU at this point."
Yeah, so go IU at that point.
Yeah,
Go Indiana.
yeah,
And
indeed.
Tage loves them because
IU.
she's a big Michigan fan because that's where Dr. Sam lives. But she just
Uh,
like she wanted I think she wanted Illinois to win, but she knew that Illinois versus Indiana. Oh my gosh, I got family in both places, and
Yeah,
this is cool. And
yeah,
so she picked. I think she ended up picking Indiana because at the end of it, she's like, I knew they were going to win. I picked that. I'm like, okay,
of course,
yeah.
of
she
course, she
knows it.
knew.
Once
She
they went
knows
up by 30, she was on board.
yeah, exactly. She's like, I know they're gonna win now. Exactly. But if y'all are cool, let's get this thing rolling. I know that we'll
Yeah.
try to keep
Let's rock.
this short and sweet for everybody, but I'm going to go ahead and do what I always do and share my screen and then get this PowerPoint going. All so, like I said, it is a week three recap. We go through like we always do of the games that were just played and how that went down. Then we'll get into Dr. Sam's injury report, the transaction report. We had a lot. And the injury report actually has a lot because a lot of injuries this week. Then we'll get into the waiver wire, what to do's, the comment of the week, and the week four matchups. Are you two ready?
Let's do it.
Let's rock and roll. And we're going to start with the only ass whooping of the week. And man, Allison obviously
Whoa.
wears the
Oh,
pants in this
Let's go,
relationship.
Allison.
Yeah,
right.
so I now owe her a date. So that was the thing is like whoever lost had to plan a date. So I am
Oh,
now gonna do that. I just got to figure what that is, get the babysitter, get all that kind of stuff. But she definitely
great.
kicked my ass, and it was
Oh,
closer before last night, but it turned
yeah.
into an ass whooping. What say you? What's one thing that made it a victory by a lot for her?
I mean, I think a couple big ones, obviously, Jackson Smith, Ninja,
Jigba, yeah.
wide receiver from the
Uh,
Seahawks, had a great game. And then
yep.
combined with Bo Nix from the Broncos, both of those two, and definitely outcoached the players that you had in those positions. So,
Yes, it was really rough. Basically, we got into last night. I needed 7.5. I needed Jamison Williams to have 7.5 more points than David Montgomery. Instead, it completely went the opposite way.
yeah.
And to your point, it's just been bad. I can't. My wide receivers suck. It's going pretty rough here, but it was a battle for a moment, and then I mean, it just every. I think every single player didn't get to where, except for my defense. When my defense is the top scoring part of my team, that's not good unless I'm Andy this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah,
But
that was, I have that notice. Well, that was, I mean, good for your defense. You got 11,
hey,
16 points from the defense special teams, but that's not
yeah,
what you want to see.
I'm also dropping them, so I'm not going to even use them next week because they're playing the Eagles. So I don't want
Yeah.
them.
Probably good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they
Yeah,
won't even
I
do my
mean,
defense this coming week. That's how great they played.
the
Um,
unfortunate
all
part
right.
is the players that you had on your bench. I mean, you had two wide receivers and a running back on your bench that had really great games and
Yeah.
scored points
Yep.
that would have helped.
Yep.
So,
That's how
Yeah.
my week. That's how it's been all
Other
3 weeks. Like
than
my bench is doing great. Devonta Smith finally decided to play. O'Marion Hampton is probably due to Najee Harris's like Achilles injury, which we'll get into. But he
yeah.
then got all the run. At that point, he was able to do it because against Denver, I felt like that was a tough call, and he hadn't done well yet. So that's kind of how it's going for me so
Yeah.
far. I
Sorry.
don't hate my team. I just think that I'm not able to put it together at the right time with what it is. And this week is, I don't think I would have won anyways. But yeah, another tough week. But I'd like to be done with this conversation. Okay. Fine, Allison. I owe you a date. Fine. All
Yeah.
right. Let's move in, though, into a new category I have, which is, there's ass whoopings, and that's kind of like with a belt or a big
yeah.
spoon or something or a shoe. I don't know. Maybe a trungla right there.
So you
But
went from a cord to a wooden spoon, maybe with the
yeah,
belt.
but
Thank you.
these ones we're going to call butt spanking. So, it depends on how hard your parent wanted to spank you. Your family is the only one that really gives you the spanking. So, we're going to call a 20 to 29 point W a butt spanking is what I'm calling it now. And we had a couple of those this week. The first one we're going to talk about is Meow Meow. They fell by 23 points to the Jerry Jones Hate Club.
Mhm.
Any idea as to how that may have happened this week?
I mean, where are my notes? Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I mean,
Well,
James Cook, the running back from the Bills, definitely had a killer game. You've got the wide receiver from the Broncos from Cortland Sutton,
he
and
showed
then
up.
Cam Skatebo for the in his flex position from a running back from the Giants. All three had great games. I mean, those I
Yeah.
think were definitely that was what did it.
And Glenn
Yeah,
didn't even have a bench that could have helped them. So
right, and yeah, and I think when you get three players with 20 plus points, that's going to help you out a ton,
Yeah,
So really
for
nice
sure.
well,
scoring week for him. And
Yeah,
on the
for
other
sure.
side, Glenn
I
just
think
doesn't, his wide receivers aren't helping him right now. Jalen Waddle did okay, but it's not like 12 and a half is astounding. But his top receiver, Brian Thomas, not doing well this year, and Calvin Ridley's been a bust so far as well. So got to figure that wide receiver position out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Jameer Gibbs, huge game. Other stuff went really well. All
Yep.
right.
yeah.
Let's move on to the next butt spanking, the next child getting spanked. And unfortunately, that was you all. That was the So
Yeah.
Bro Cases Aces getting spanked by your uncle.
All
So
right.
Ricky's
Yeah.
Rodent Rockets decided to give you this butt spanking. I
Even
have no
without
idea
that
why this may have
defensive.
happened. Do you?
Well, yeah, how you get
Well,
like, was it 30 points in the defense or something?
32.
I mean,
Yeah,
like, if he had a normal defense, he probably could have
that's
maybe
just
even still won the game. But
bonkers. I
yeah,
mean, that was
hats
honestly a little
off to
rude.
him, I guess.
Because your
And our
defense did
QB
well.
and
Your
goal.
defense scored double digits. So
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
our
defense
defense
did
did
good.
fine. It was our QB and Flowers also sucked last night. He
yeah,
was our only hope, and then he blew it.
yeah,
And he will have those games. So that's the interesting part with Flowers for how he's a great football player. I really like him. But when you watch that game last night, he got like one catch, I think, in
yeah,
the
Yeah, they
game, and he
weren't
didn't get
even.
targeted that much. It was very
Yeah,
odd for him. But he does have big games and then these, bust games. So he's kind
yeah.
of
He was definitely kind of an every other week sort of thing,
yeah.
yeah. But you got to play
or at
him
least so far.
because you're gonna get those
And
boom
Mahomes
games.
only getting 12 did not help either. Which I don't like Mahomes, but he's our quarterback, so I guess I have to.
So you got to do it. The only one I would throw out to you all, and maybe you're going to make the adjustment for this week, you have Jordan Mason on your bench. And once Aaron Jones is out, Mason is basically the only guy getting hardly any work there. Are you thinking about putting him in over any of your other running backs in this coming week?
I mean,
There's a good possibility. I'll say
There
that.
definitely is a
Yeah.
good possibility. The question would be, who would we replace? I mean, McCaffrey is a
Yeah. We're
pretty
Yeah, you
standard.
must play him.
Maybe
Yeah.
Irving
I mean, it would probably be Irving
or
because
Njoku or
I was gonna
whatever.
say because Tony Pollard has been doing really well for us too. So it's kind of I don't that's one of those it's one of those tough calls, you know.
Yeah, you got 16 plus for all three of your running backs. I would take that
I
all
would say
day.
if he keeps
Yeah.
it up, it might be worth putting him in for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I mean, and it's the kind of the question of are you damned if you do or are you damned if you don't?
Yep. I know that feeling all too well. Yeah, but
The
for you
joys
all,
of
honestly,
gambling.
you're gonna play Zay Flowers. You're gonna play it how you all played it. But like it's just a tough fall. And to your point, Casey, if his defense is like just if his defense just gets what they were supposed to, you all win. At
Yeah.
Yeah.
that point, right? So that was just a historic day for a defense. We haven't had a defense go over 30 points ever.
Mhm.
So record for the Vikings, which was a
Yeah.
crazy one to watch. But so nice
Yeah.
job to Ricky's Rodent Rockets. But you
Yes.
all remain in first place, as we'll get to later. So it didn't knock you off of your pedestal there. But let's move on because
Yeah.
Tyler, and and Murphy's Law had high score of the
Yeah.
week this week against Beat the
Right?
Swifties, and Beat the
Yeah. Big
Swifties had the
time.
second highest point total of the week.
Yeah.
That's
Losing Joe
tough.
Burrow was the best thing to happen to him for sure.
I think so. Yeah, Caleb's looking nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Hopefully he keeps it up.
anything else that you see that could be a difference, or any other notes that you might have on this game, high scoring affair? I mean, what a great battle.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, having one player on your team getting single
Yeah,
digits is pretty incredible. I mean,
yeah.
even including the defense. I mean, one single player, Jamar Chase, the wide receiver from the Bengals,
The
getting
number one pick
6 points.
overall. You mean that guy? The only one
Yeah,
that got single digits?
yeah, for real. I mean, that's just like you're gonna win every week if the team keeps doing that. Like that's unreal.
All right.
Yeah. And the
He could be the
Vikings do have a
new
great
number one in
defense.
no time.
What were
Hmm.
you saying, Case?
I was saying he could be the new number one in no time. So
Yeah.
they are these
Um,
guys. So.
but and even it's funny because even beat the Swifties, I wouldn't say I question his defensive choice because Cincinnati's considered one of the worst defenses in the league. So I kind of questioned it going into it, but I understood that hey, it's going up
Right?
against a backup quarterback in Carson Wentz. So you're probably trying to think they might be able to take advantage of that. It just really unfortunately for them, the defense for the Minnesota scored so many points and got them in such good field position that it made it really tough for that Bengals defense to do much with that.
Anything.
Because when you're
Yeah.
given that kind of field position as well and on the field a lot, that's a big challenge. But nice job on both sides. You all both played a great week. So kudos to both of you. Hey, and nice job,
And
Tyler. High score of the week.
Taylor
That's 10
said,
Buckaroos.
as
10
a
bones.
as a Patriots fan, I do have to shout out my boy Hunter Henry that tied
Yeah.
in 25 points. Like, woof. That's awesome.
Yeah. And every year this man does it. Like every year he is a back end of the draft player. And every year he shows that he shouldn't be. He's like a top
Yeah.
10 tight end every year in that.
Yep.
So I don't ever understand. It's one of he's the most underrated. I even liked him when he played for the Chargers. He was actually really good. And then the Patriots get him, and he's still just Studley. He's just there. Just
Yeah. I
boom.
mean, the Patriots themselves not so great, but Tyler Henry,
Right.
Drake May,
Yeah.
quarterback in
Yeah.
that tight end and doing great things.
Yep. Exactly.
For
Exactly.
whatever
So
that's worth.
multiple things going on, but Bob, you to beat everybody else. So just know that, and that's just not really a great consolation, but it is what it is at that point.
Right, yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Any given
next,
Sunday.
yeah, exactly. Next up, we have Chubby Down Syndrome, who took down Licho Logis by about 17 points.
Yep.
Anything
Yeah.
you noted from this one that may have swayed it
I
towards Chubby?
I mean, obviously Jonathan Taylor. If you're a Colts fan, you gotta love that.
Whoop,
Yeah.
whoop.
Yep.
Uh,
Number one running back on the year so far.
yeah. George Pickens also did well.
Yep.
Um,
Had to. CD Lamb's out, got injured. So,
Yeah, yeah. And again, another one that just had very limited single digit players,
Right.
like
And that,
overall
to your
strong team.
Yep, to your earlier point, if you only have one or two in single digits, you should be doing pretty well. And I would even say with that, like, because without Jonathan Taylor's big game, it's kind of an average type because he only put up 112, even though most of his players were in double digits because most of them were in that low to mid teens. But on the other side, Licho has a running back problem right now. When Isaiah
Yeah.
Pacheco and Ramondre Stevenson are your running backs, as you know, Ramondre, what, he coughed it up twice yesterday, or at least once, and it was in
Yeah.
the end zone. He fumbled in the end zone. That is brutal because, in a sense, he had a that's an 8 point swing because instead of
Easy.
Yeah.
getting 6 points for a touchdown plus a run, he gets negative 2 points for that fumble. Um, and that's tough right there. So
Yeah.
just in that one instance is really difficult. But nice job, Zach. You stay in the top of the East. So really, we didn't have any
Mhm.
movement at the top of either division after this week, whether you won or lost. So nice job to you. And our last one, which is our only nail biter, and it's technically semi outside that 10 point zone that I have our nail biters for. However, it was within 5 points before last night. And unfortunately for Sam, I don't know what you do with it. I didn't like the Ravens defense going into the week, anyways, but they are a top defense, or supposed to be. So I think he just kept them in. However, I probably would have made a different decision. I'll just be honest, even before Monday night happened. But once it happens, you can't really change it because there's only two teams
Right. Yeah.
playing at that point. But and I think someone already had the Lions, or if they're on the waivers, you wouldn't have thought that they would have been the ones to come out with this outcome. But
Right.
um, anything else that you saw in this match, this low scoring affair, much different than the Tyler versus Bob game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Sakadika or Sam's CD Lamb getting injured in that first quarter. You hate
Mm.
to see that. I think
Yeah.
Allison even said on the text thread that she had to look away. I wouldn't have because I'm a sicko, but yeah, like he had over 15 points the last 2 weeks. I mean, getting injured in that first quarter, that just sucks.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
been plagued by injuries. His whole team.
Yeah.
Sam's.
yeah, very much so, which is tough too, as you know. Like at that point, what do you do? How do you wait it out? They're good players. You're not going to just drop them, but then your team's filled with injuries and you don't know what to do. So tough year so far for
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sakadika. And then for EJ, hey, second in the West now, and still got a great performance from Puka. Puka continues to be much
Yeah.
better than I ever give him credit for. He is just really freaking good, and I seem to always every year like I'm not going to get him. I think it won't go that way, and every
Yeah.
year I'm wrong. So what do I know? But
Yeah.
but that was this week's matchups. Nice job to those who were able to take a victory in. The cool part is and that we are legit we are such parity that everyone's either 2-1 or 1-2 in our league. And that just means that these are going to
Crazy.
shift so much in this early time frame. So everyone
Right.
is still in the hunt, and that's awesome.
All
Yeah.
right.
After week 3, there are teams if you're 0-3 that just start to kind of give up, and we don't have any of that. So that's really good to see. But now is time to pay the bills, right? We got to get Sam paid. We got to get his contract taken care of, all of that kind of stuff. So I got to come with it each week. And this week was, I would say tough. It's more of a niche, but hey, it's not for everybody, but there are some people that enjoy it. And it's the Logis VHS shop. Louis, Louis and Kyle, they opened the Logis VHS shop this year because it, just brings back the nostalgia factor that every Cowboy fan desires. Their wide range of VHS tapes spans from, the Tom Landry years of the Dallas Cowboys through, the Jimmy Johnson years of the Cowboys, and even it keeps going into the Barry Switzer years of the Dallas Cowboys. Though those years, they're near the back of the store. So if you're looking for a getaway, to a time when the Cowboys football mattered, come on in to the Logis VHS shop. How about them Cowboys? And be kind and rewind. Whoa.
America's team.
Nice job to the Logis VHS shop. Thank you to Louie and Kyle for really ponying up the bucks. unfortunately, they didn't pony up enough for Dr. Sam's liking, and so therefore he just said, I can't do it for that kind of money this week. So we got a different person to come in with the injury report. So here's his replacement for this week. Oh yeah, there we got this week we got the James Conner running back for the Arizona Cardinals. He's got a season-ending ankle injury. Ah, that's bad. And then we got the Najee Harris, the running back for the LA Chargers there. Also season ending with that Achilles tear. That's a big bummer right there. Then Samantha, you mentioned the CD Lamb injury. The good news, it's a mild high ankle sprain, but he's gonna be out at least this week, maybe another. You don't know. Mike Evans, wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Bucks, I mean, low grade hamstring injury, may miss this week, maybe another. We don't know. He's a little older there, so you just don't know. Tyrone Tracy, running back for the Giants, the New York Giants, that is. A dislocated shoulder, I know about those. That not good, not good. He will miss a little bit of time, and that's where that Scattaboo guy, he gonna do good. Then we have the Mac Jones. He's the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. The good news, he's the backup for them. And good news there is maybe Purdy's back. We don't know. But PCL injury for Mac Jones, and for those that aren't smart like me, that's in the knee. I don't know anything about it, though. I don't know the severity or what. But either way. Then Terry McLaurin, wide receiver for the Commanders, he had a quad injury. I would tell you, just monitor it. I don't know. They say he's unlikely to play or uncertain to play, but yeah, we don't know. So you got to keep up on that. A few concussions, and I definitely know about those. We had Noah Fant, tight end for the Bengals, with one. We got a Michael Mayer, the tight end for them Raiders, with a one. And for our near and dear Colts, we got the Alec Pierce. He got one, and he had a heck of a game going. So that's kind of tough. Some defensive ones that'll matter. Nick Bosa, defensive end for the San Francisco 49ers, season ending ACL tear. Those are always very bad, and that just makes their defense worse. So don't like that. Jalen Johnson, he was already out this week for the Bears. He's the cornerback for them. He had surgery on his core. I don't know what part of the core, but a surgery on it, and he may be out for the season, but they say he may come back. So, whatever wide receiver or quarterback going against them Bears, you play them. And then for the Colts again, Kenny Moore, calf injury. He's a defensive back, and they got such a good defense there. I hope that they can make up for that, but could be several weeks before that happens. And that's the injury report. I'm worth that value of the LHS or VHS or whatever they do over there at the Logis place. Okay, thank you for that injury
The Bears.
report there with the Bears. Um, yeah, that guy. I like that guy. That guy should come back and do the injury
Yeah,
report sometime.
he does it. He works for cheap, so you can't beat it.
Oh, he works for the cheese? Yeah, he works for cheese. You're right. He
Yeah,
does.
beef and for cheese and sausages.
All right, now let's get into the transaction report after that wonderful news. Beat the Swifties. They added Cincinnati's D this past week and dropped Rashad White. That was bad. The Jerry Jones Hate Club, they added wide receiver from Pittsburgh, Calvin Austin, and Indianapolis defense, while dropping Rashad Bateman, wide receiver for Baltimore, and adding and Dallas's defense. They were kind of done with Dallas. They suck. Kicker, hardly knower. They added Troy Franklin, wide receiver for the Broncos, as well as the tight end for the Washington Commanders, Zach Ertz, who did pretty well. But they dropped Ollie Gordon along the way, who's a running back for Miami, as well as the tight end for Denver, Evan Ingram, because he no good. Ricky's Rodent Rockets, they added a wide receiver for Tampa Bay, Chris Godwin, who may come back soon, and they dropped a wide receiver for the Denver Broncos of Marvin Mims. Denzel Winnington, they added wide receiver for Tennessee, Alec Manor. He's doing good. We like him right now, as well as, but he don't play for the team. Maybe we should change that. But the running back, as well as a running back for Houston, Woody Marks, who seems to be getting more run. And shoot, they did another one. We also had Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense
Did
this
you
week.
forget what you did?
Yeah, that was good. The Tampa Bay defense, that was a good ad this week. Didn't help me. But then I dropped a wide receiver for Houston, Jaden Higgins, because Houston sucks in general with throwing the ball. Running back for Dallas, Jaden Blue dropped his ass, and I dropped the Arizona Cardinals defense. Murphy's Law, they added running back for Dallas Cowboys, Miles Sanders, who's actually not looking too bad. I like him. As well as the quarterback for Cincinnati, Jake Browning, he does not look good, and so therefore not a good pickup there. But he dropped Austin Eckler in the meantime, who is on season-ending injury reserve. Cheesehead champions, they added the Washington Commanders defense and dropped Detroit's defense. So Detroit's was out there. Had Dr. Sam made that change, he would have won. And then they dropped, or then Licholo just added Atlanta's defense. They didn't do so good. And they dropped the Rams defense, but that made sense. They were playing Philly. Suckaditka placed Jaden Daniels in the IR slot while he was out, and they added Mariota, who did pretty well for him, but didn't pull out that victory. And then Chubby Down syndrome has put tight end for the Raiders, Brock Bowers, on the trading block if anyone is interested in a new tight end. And that's the transaction report for this week. Let's move on into our waiver wire quarterbacks. All right, so bros, do you see anybody on this list that you might like?
A couple that popped out to me, Geno Smith from the Raiders, kind of been an every other player week as far as like points go, but not a bad option. And then I think Zach mentioned him last week, Sam Darnold, or maybe it was Andy the week before,
Yep.
from the Seahawks. He had a tough start, but he's definitely been on the uptrend.
Yeah, I like that. And the other only one I'd add is Jackson Dart. Just is expected to start this week for the first time. He's a rookie for the New York Giants, so starting at quarterback. But going up against the Chargers, which is a really tough defense. So not sure if it's for this week. But hey, if you're looking for a quarterback and are in need of one, maybe he's one you roll the dice on because he's got some talent and he's a rookie. So we'll never know what could happen there. But good call outs. I like especially Geno against Chicago. With Jalen Johnson out, that could be good. All right, next up we have running backs, and maybe a few on here. Most are just backups, but you got to find them. Any of them on here that you like this week?
The one that stood out to me, Jeremy McNichols from the Commanders, maybe having to come up since they lost Austin Eckler.
Yep, I like that. Pass catching back should get to work. Even Chris Rodriguez for Washington. I think I said this even last week once Eckler went out, but take your shot. It's a good offense, and you want to running backs and good offenses. So that could be a shot to take. I even like some of the top guys of Kenneth Gainwell. He's doing well. So another guy where if you're just in need of it, good person to have. I think Kyle Monangai for the Bears. He's actually getting more run. He is not a pass catcher, but man, he had the best looking negative 10-yard run I've seen in a while. He broke too many tackles. He shouldn't have kept breaking the tackles because it kept sending him backwards and he kept trying to run away. So that was not good. But man, he broke like 3 or 4 of them. And I was like, just go down because you're going backwards. And then maybe even Ollie Gordon, who kicker hardly knower dropped last week. He might be a good one. He got some good run and had a good week this week for the first time. So a few decent, shots to take out there. All right, next up is wide receivers. Anyone on here that you like?
There wasn't any crazy standouts to me. Rashad Bateman might be somebody that could be good. I did learn last night, apparently, Edgar Allan Poe is the reason that the Baltimore team is called the Ravens.
Oh,
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, I didn't know that in case
Did not know that
maybe
either.
because I said, wait, Baltimore's the Orioles, and he was like,
No,
no.
she said Baltimore Orioles. I was like, that's for the Ravens.
Love it.
Uh,
And the reason they're the Ravens is because Edgar Allan Poe lived in Baltimore.
there you go. That was our whole conversation about that last night.
Hey, we all got some
Um,
knowledge there.
And then the other one, I guess that could potentially be trending up is Tyquan Thornton from the Chiefs.
Yeah. Is he on? If I didn't put him on here, then I don't know what I was doing because I should have. I would agree. So I apologize if I didn't capture him. I know I only have so much room, but I would agree. I like that. If no one has Tyquan Thornton, shit, I'd be going after that man.
And maybe
Especially if you had
Mahomes can
Patrick
throw some
Mahomes
balls.
at quarterback. What would you
Right?
be doing to not? But there's a few. Trey Tucker went off this week, so all I would tell you is when a player does, he got like 30 some odd points. Like it was something insane because he got like three big touchdown plays. He had three touchdowns. Don't chase that, but at the same time, I mean, if you like
He's
it, go
right
for
now.
it. What's going to happen in Dallas with CD Lamb out? I don't know if either of those wide receivers are any good for you, but not there's not a whole lot on the free agency list here for wide receivers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap up with the tight ends then, which there might be a few on here you like. Any of them that you've kind of noted for this one?
The couple that I have noted Brenton Strange from the Jags,
Hmm.
kind of been an every other week trend so far, but could be a good option. And then Cole Kmet from the Bears. He did have a good week, and depending on how the Bears do, that could be an option as well.
And to your point, I didn't mention it in it because I didn't see much on it for the injury report, but Colson Loveland, their rookie tight end, went out with a hip injury. So if that, depending on the severity of that, if he's out, I think that's a great one is Cole Kmet because that offense is humming right now, and he's a nice target for Caleb. Caleb likes him a lot, so that's a really good call out there. And I like Brenton Strange. He's getting like on average about 6 targets, and that's a good amount for a tight end. So I like that call out.
Yeah.
Others on here, I don't want to throw anybody out. Chig did pretty well this week, but Dalton Schultz still sucks. So I don't know why he's ever at the top of this. He never hits his projection ever. His projection of 7, he hasn't hit yet, but they keep putting it there. And others are just weird. I don't know. But nothing too great, but I like your call out of commit there. All right. Comment of the week this week. I'm taking Allison's Dallas Cowboy fan
Yeah,
video. That was
Oh, is that where the
that was
wonderful.
hilarious.
VHS thing comes from?
Yeah,
Okay, so that's good.
that was hilarious.
Yeah. That was a great one, and I just loved it. And it's funny, look, when it started going, he mentioned VHS and why I was like, oh shit, I already see where this is gonna go for him. But it was so great. So nice job. Thanks for sharing that one, Allison. And I think that got a lot of good laughs out of a lot of people. Um, and hopefully it drives business towards the Logis VHS shop, you know.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
now let's see where we
on
sit.
Wednesday, the back room was half off, so keep that in mind. Leave the kids in the front.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's see. Here's where we sit after week 3. So as I mentioned before, the top in the East and the West stay the same. So the Sobro Cases Aces stays at the top of the West, whereas Chubby Down Syndrome staying at top of the East. Kudos to both of you. But at the
That's my
same
job for
time,
another week.
we're all 2-1 or 1-2. It's literally half of us are 2-1, half of us are 1-2. And that
Yeah.
means it's anybody's ball game at this point, and I absolutely love that. So even for teams like
Yeah.
Sam and myself, hey, we're still in it, so we're not that far off here for it.
Well, Vegas couldn't be more happy right now.
Yes. As far as where we sit in regards to stats and numbers, Um, you see it of how it's rated. You all, Sobro Cases Aces, nice job. Points for. You are leading the pack in points for so far, with every week putting up a pretty good score. I haven't broken 100 yet, and over 100 is your lowest score. So that tells you one thing there. So nice
Yeah.
job. Very consistent team throughout. Chubby Down syndrome right on your tail had a couple good weeks so far too, especially the past couple. So he's looking good. Uh, beat the Swifties. Maybe not as many points for as I thought. I think they had one rough week, but otherwise putting up some good numbers as well. The only thing I will say, no need to look at the moves. I know these are wrong because we talked about before of week 1 didn't seem to count into any of these moves. I don't know why, but it's still that way. But a lot of parity. in our league, which I absolutely love, and it's reminiscent of, I believe, year one of this league. We had a similar situation after 3 or 4 weeks of very even. No one was undefeated, and no one was completely defeated by that point. So reminiscent of that time, which is good. All right, now we're going into the last part here, and the matchups coming into week 4. I'm going to start us off with, I guess, what I'm titling as the top talent tango. So these might not be the top teams, technically by rank. However, I do feel like these are two very talented teams that have talent
Yeah.
throughout them. So we have Ricky's Rodent Rockets at 2-1 and third in the West right now, going up against Beat the Swifties, who's at 1-2 and fifth in the West at this moment. Any notes that you have as to why this game might go one way or the other?
Um, I mean, honestly, they're pretty evenly matched. I mean, that could change. Andy's got a player that's doubtful in his flex position,
Yep.
but he's got a lot of injuries, questionables, doubtfuls, and things like that on his bench, so he might not have a lot of moves to make, but that could make every bit of the difference.
Can his defense score another 30? That's going to be the real question.
Yeah.
So if
True.
that happens for him, then he might have a good chance.
And I hope they do, because that means Aaron Rodgers got handled, and I love that. So that
Yeah,
would be great.
couldn't happen to a better guy. I watched Rodgers there.
The note that I will make for Ricky's Rodent Rockets, now he has two running backs on his bench that are looking really good. Quinshon Judkins is coming on, looking great for Cleveland Browns. And now that James Conner is injured, Trey Benson, he has the backup, and he's going to be the lead guy. So even though Tyrone Tracy went down, he's got a couple pieces in there at running back that can easily
Yeah.
handle that. So he's actually looking good and on the upswing with that. So even with Evans probably out, he's got some nice pieces to fill in for him. On the other side, we beat the Swifties. Every single player he has going is an away game, and that can be a challenge. So while we might not think about that often we're just looking at the opponent. We might not be looking at whether or not it's home or away. My team's going to be the same. I already know that, but like a lot of away games is very tough. So might be some adjustments that he's making there, but I don't know what those adjustments could be for him on that end.
Right.
But should be a close matchup either way.
Yeah.
Now we got yours though. So you have a matchup here. You have the top projection on the week. We all know how those projections are very accurate.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so therefore, obviously you're gonna win because your projection's over 24 points from the Cheesehead champions and EJ. But
Obviously.
yeah, how
Yeah,
how
that
will
did
this
so well
game?
for us last week.
What'd you say?
I said that did so well. The projections did so well for us last week.
I
Yeah.
will
That
say it actually did hit
Don't need
on for you the first 2 weeks. I think you did hit like right around your high projection, and your team's always up there in the projection. So two of your three, it actually has been pretty good
well, I mean,
on
to
that.
be fair, we did hit pretty close to our projections this week, a little bit off, but that defense just rocked us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Rude, Andy. Rude.
Yes, very, very. Any notes that you have for this game, and how you see it? I know it can be tough, or maybe I'll say it's a different way because I think it's tough to like comment and be negative maybe for another team or whatnot. But what do you think it's going to take for you all to to win this matchup against EJ, who's 2-1, because you both are at the top of the West? So
Yeah.
this potentially could decide who is truly going to be at the top.
Yeah, I mean, if he makes some changes, he doesn't. That's the tough part too. I mean, I hate to say this, but he doesn't have a super strong bench, and he's got players out and suspended, and so
Yeah.
he could potentially make some moves that
Yeah.
could change the outcome or the projected outcome
Do we
completely.
do we put Mason in? That's the big question for us, maybe this
Mhm.
week. But
Yeah, and that's true too, because Mason
uh,
is now. I don't know how good Pittsburgh is, right? You have Pittsburgh's defense, so you might know how their
yeah,
swing is going and how they're playing. But I know they're kind of middle of the pack right now in their
Yeah.
defense, but they're
every time you
normally
put
a
him
very
in, they do.
Well, and they're playing Minnesota this week. They're playing the
Yeah,
Vikings.
so
So,
Every time we
Yeah.
put them in, they've done shitty. Every time we put the other team in, they've done well. So if we put Mason in, then we'll make sure we put them as our defense. It'll be fun.
That's yeah, going to counter it at that point. But you all are very solid throughout. I was mentioning before that, and technically even with Mason now on your bench, you look at it as like you have four running backs in the top 24. I tell people that we have 12 teams, so a top 24 running back means that if every team had two running backs, you'd hope that they would be split evenly between that. You have four of those, which is
Yeah.
great. Plus, top 10 quarterback. Your wide receivers are shoot number 11, number 13. That's also great. That's, right at the, wide receiver one, wide receiver two category. I mean, very solid throughout. And on EJ's end, kind of a mixed bag. So I think he's hoping that Harvey ends up breaking out and maybe a couple things break for him, but tough on the injury front. He does have Jordan Addison coming back. This will be his first game, so you just don't know how that would go and if he'd play him or not. But
Right.
I definitely lean your way just because I just don't know if he has enough manpower. So that means he's going to win, and I apologize.
Thanks.
Right? Yeah.
I know. I got to be real though. I mean, that's where it goes. He won this past week, so he's 2-1, but he won scoring 83 points. He was the third lowest point total on the week. That's where a team like Bob was like, God damn it, because I scored the second highest point total and lost. So that's always tough. But should be an interesting outcome, and we'll see whoever wins that one could be at the top of the West. All right, next up, we have Meow Meow, who's 1-2 and fifth in the East, versus Chubby Down Syndrome, who's 2-1 and first in the East. Their current projections are very close, with a slight lean towards Chubby's Down Syndrome. And on here, I put, is it going to be down to the defenses? They're both good defenses, even though Denver is not ranked as such and neither is are the Bills. They're supposed to have good defenses, and they're going against shitty teams. So
Yeah.
and they're at home. Both defenses are at home. So I think it could come down to one of these, one of whichever defense plays better. Is there anything else that you might see here to sway you one way or the other?
I mean, nothing crazy. I mean, they both have strong benches. They've both got strong outlooks. They're pretty evenly matched as far as the projections. So,
Yeah. And currently I have like he's got Dak over Drake May. I don't
Except that he
he,
know.
put Drake May in
yeah,
Samantha likes,
he's
but
swapped Drake May after
wish
that
I
killer
could put some at
performance
one
Okay.
last.
point now. But
No, I think that's a great move. And they're playing Carolina, who's a terrible defense, even though they looked great against Atlanta. Atlanta apparently sucks, and I don't know why I put so much faith in them this year. But
I
yeah,
hope.
he's playing Drake May, who's done well, so that's good. I think that will end up potentially lifting him a little bit past it because Drake May also runs a bit. I like
Yeah,
that kid. I like him a lot.
me too.
Yeah, and
I'm not this
Samantha, for everybody who doesn't
defensive
know, is a Patriots fan, so she's got a good insight into that, and she's on board with me of saying when I saw Drake May last year, I was like, that guy's good. He's I was afraid because the Bears got Mitchell Trubisky from UNC, and I was like, is this kid going to be another Mitch Trubisky and it's going to suck? But he is not that at all. I like his poise. I like what he brings. So I think the Patriots have their franchise quarterback for a while, which is good to see.
Let's
All
hope.
right,
Now they
next
just need
up.
to get the team to back him up.
Yeah, exactly. Got to get some. Got to. They're starting with the line, the O line. They're doing some good stuff. Will Campbell, great rookie right there, but they need some receivers around that kid.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the battle to the top of the East, and I say to the top because we have the Jerry Jones Hate Club at 2-1 and currently second, right behind the Chubby Down Syndrome, and kicker hardly knower at 2-1 and third in the East, so right behind the Jerry Jones Hate Club. The projection for both is a good projection, right in those middle 115 and 114, so they're very close to each other. Anything that you see as a potential deciding factor, or anything that you just like in this matchup?
Nothing crazy jumps out. Again, another one that projection wise, they're very evenly matched, so that could be a really fun game.
Yeah, I agree with that. And both have good players, both have top notch, stuff. They have even some stuff on their bench that could work for them if they wanted to. I think the only question is, does Allison play Bo Nix? He has Cortland Sutton, the top wide receiver for Bo Nix that could counter it if she continues that route. And her quarterbacks are not doing great for her right now. So maybe she might look to make a change there.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, I put home versus away here because right now Louis has most of his players playing at home, and me, I have most of my players playing away. Again, I don't really like that, so some changes might be made here. Current projections show me ahead, but projections have been my enemy so far this year, and
Yeah.
therefore I don't believe them. Anything that you see that could be a deciding factor or something you like in this matchup?
I mean, again, nothing crazy stands out. I think that you do have some things on your bench that could potentially help out, but nothing major.
Yeah, nope,
Yeah, I mean, Chase
nope.
Brown on the bench, which could potentially do something for you. Um, but
So you need to rent some old game tapes from LHS, watch them, and then you'll
Yeah,
know all his secret ways and what to do. That's what you got to do.
I do. I got to bring back the Tom Landry tapes here and figure out, help them, get some motivation for my team. Jesus it is bad. And maybe you're right. Maybe Licho's going to do the same for his team. Maybe we're both going to be shopping at. He can just take whatever videos he wants home. I got to pay for them, so that's the tough part there. But on his end, Najee Harris now out for the season, so obviously drop him. He's got some running back issues to correct, so we'll see how that goes. And on the same end for me, I got wide receiver issues, so I mean maybe we should just trade with each other and then we'll figure it out.
there
I
you
don't
There
go.
know.
you go. Yeah.
We'll even it out, but bad luck to you this week, Licho. Okay, bad luck to you. I don't want it. I need a victory. All right. And last, but definitely not least, we have the week 3 high score of the week in Murphy's Law going against the week 3 low score of the week in Suckaditka. So coming off of two opposite ends of it in this past week.
Yeah. For a
Um,
second, they just had so many injuries.
Yeah.
Same.
yeah. And that's why projection's so low. So obviously
Yeah,
it won't be that. He's got two zeros right now in the lineup, and that won't be the
yeah.
case.
Yeah.
But anything you
Doesn't
like in this
happen.
matchup?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Sam's got to make some changes for sure. The unfortunate part is half his bench is all questionable, injury reserve, doubtful,
Yeah.
And you had said that there one of them was it the oh yeah, was it Jaden Reed? I think you said that was coming off of injury
No,
reserve.
Jaden Daniels should be back, but he put
Oh,
Mariota in, who did well this week in his place. But Jaden Daniels should come back then
okay.
this
Yeah,
week.
so then obviously we're gonna have him over Mariota.
Yeah, of
Or
course.
would you?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
but
think if
he
he's
might
back,
hold
then
on
too.
because I don't know that for certain, but he might be back. So I think he probably holds on to Mariota, and if Jaden Daniels comes back, then he puts Daniels in,
Yeah,
and if Mariota stays on, he keeps him in probably
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
for
fine.
that one. On Tyler's end, I mean, my goodness, he's got a lot of great players, and
Yeah,
I'm almost wondering, and I think it's tough to just believe in it, but do you play Keenan Allen against the Giants, which is a tough defense, over DK Metcalf, which is going against Minnesota, but they're also a tough defense. It feels odd to say that because Keenan Allen seems old. What's he doing? But he's a number 8 wide receiver so far, and he scored a touchdown.
Really?
He's the only player to score a touchdown, I think, at least wide receiver every week so far.
I was gonna say, I mean, as far as like it's the points that he's been making each week, I mean, 16 week one, 14 week two, 16 week three. So, I mean, obviously he's doing something.
Yeah, consistent. And
yeah,
without those touchdowns, still probably in double digits or near it. So, it feels like there's a safe floor there with him. And DK's been similar in that, but it seems like that's a weird offense right now. He's the number one, but they're using Calvin Austin. They're using a lot of other players that we didn't think they would do. But
Yeah.
yeah, that should be an interesting one. It'll definitely be much closer in projection than what it's showing right now. However, like we'll just see as it goes. And good luck, Dr. Sam, to get these injury bugs taken care of, sir.
right. He's a doctor. How can he not just fix them? What's going on?
Yeah, man, I agree. Absolutely agree. But that wraps up the week 3 recap. Good luck to everybody in week 4. Important week, especially with us all at 2-1 and 1-2. And I want to thank the Sobro Cases Aces, team here. We got owner Casey
Yeah,
here.
thank you. Samantha had to go get ready for work real quick. She's in the background, but
No, I know we're pushing it for you
no,
all,
you're
but I,
good.
I
We're all good.
appreciate you hopping on with me,
Well,
doing
thank you
this.
for having us. Yeah, it was fun for sure. Loved it.
Yeah. And good luck this week to you all. I know that you all have kind of a tough matchup against Cheesehead, the first and second place teams in that division in the West. So
I know, yeah,
let's
it's
see if
going
you
to
can
be a
pull it
tough
off.
game. So, and good luck to you as well with the Denzel. And
Hey.
now he has the new Spike Lee joint. So, I mean, he's back in. You guys should
Oh,
be.
I watched it. I watched
How
it. Did you
was
see it?
I have
Not
not
that
seen it.
good.
No, how was it? It
Not
was not
that
that
good.
good. Yeah,
Spike Lee joints. Here's what I'll say. I
yeah,
think
that
I,
was.
it's hit or miss because with Spike
Yeah,
Lee, I think he's a very artistic guy in the way that I love that he puts a lot of black actors into his films and he gets like actually like people that
yeah,
need a name. I love what he does in that sense. But the way this I watched it yesterday, the way this it's a 2 hour movie and it like kind of just jumps and it's like so many assumptions that are weirdly made to the point
yeah,
where once like the kidnapping happens is the weirdest part and then it's like wait, okay, so it's just assumed that the kid is kidnapped. You didn't fucking. It's very weird. I would
yeah,
say don't waste your time. And I love Denzel, and it was great as it got to the ending. The last maybe half hour was really good, but the first hour and a half, man, it was kind of like this isn't that good. So
yeah. Well, it's a reimagining of like an old Japanese movie.
yep,
So it's like, yeah,
yeah.
it has a different pace to what the movies are these days for sure. But
Definitely, which I can appreciate. Honestly, I like that side of it, but there's some
yeah,
poor acting that's also happening it's like I love that you're getting some people some love in this and getting, like I
yeah,
said, black actors, more minorities into it. I love that. But also if they're not good at it, then I'm sorry. Then like we're just not good at acting, and there's a few of those in it where I'm like,
fair enough.
okay,
Yeah,
we could have done differently here, but hey, that's what we chose, and that's where we go. But Denzel, always great. He was wonderful
yeah.
in
I wasn't gonna watch it anyways, but yeah, now
it.
that you say that, I'm definitely not going to.
Yeah, don't
But
waste your time. But much love to both of you. Thank you
yeah,
for hopping on, Samantha.
and to
Thank
the
you
whole
again.
league, love you guys.
Yeah, love you
Good
all.
luck. Good luck, everybody. I hope everybody wins this week
Yeah. All right.
somehow.
Yes. Thank you again, Samantha.
Thank you, Greg.
Peace
Have
out,
a good one.
everybody. Peace out,
Bye.
fam.
Yeah.
Good luck this week. Love y'all.